Welcome, I'll be talking about diminishing marginal returns. The law of diminishing marginal product states that adding more of a variable input like labor to a fixed input like equipment and space will yield to a progressively smaller increase in output because each additional worker have less access to a fixed input and can contribute less to a production. To explain diminishing marginal product, we had to use the marginal product of labor to explain this. Why are we using this equation? Remember, we are only changing one input, which is the number of workers, while keeping the other input, such as the hours and the space, the same. So let's say we increase our numbers of workers from 0 to 1. When we change the numbers of workers from 0 to 1, we will have an increase of 40 pizzas. Okay, now let's say we increase from 1 to 2. Now we have an increase of pizzas of 30. This process can be repeated for each additional worker to see how the marginal product of labor decreases. Adding more workers doesn't mean we have more output. Instead, it says we have progressively smaller output of pizzas. The initial slope of the line is steep, indicating the first few workers contribute significantly to the output. However, the curve flattens later. This flattening of the curve is where the fixed inputs like oven and kitchen space limit the capacity for additional workers. The point at which slope begins to flatten significantly is where the law of diminishing marginal product becomes evident. There's a point at which hiring additional workers will not be cost effective anymore. The business should look at to produce and sell the number of pizzas that will maximize their profit. This is done by comparing the marginal cost of production, which is the cost of producing one more pizza, to the marginal revenue, the revenue from selling one more pizza. When the marginal cost begins to exceed the marginal revenue, the business should stop increasing productions of pizza.